You was born a hustler and you a die hustler. Profit, hit him with it.
I pose with a pride of money flows, etc. A life of the battle never makes God and terror. Got 'em up, I got a beamers and I hustle for mine. I mean, if I don't trust you, then I'm busting my nine. I'm tearing you down, banana glocks and overalls. It's over, y'all, with all them false dead ties. Then we slow out, slow like we don't bid.
Yo, what's up? You checking out Battle Reflex TV, 1312 TV.
Mixologist in the house.
Episode 9.5. I'm doing this for my physics class in college. I'm about to graduate in 3 months. So check it out. Battle Reflex TV, Battle Crisis.
TV. Peace out. Battle Reflex TV. Watch out. 10, 9, 8. Holland, Evolution. We're coming through. The B-Boy game. Don't stop. Rock. Get your education. Keep on doing what you gotta do. So you gotta get this right.
Get my education. Fuck the haters. Good morning, class. My name's Anthony, and my Mechanics of Motion project is on the conservation of angular momentum. A good example of the conservation of angular momentum is if you were to watch an ice skater, and every time they spin really fast in a circle, that's the conservation of angular momentum, is when they're pulling their limbs into the center of mass, creating more energy. Every time they bring their limbs in towards the center of mass, they create energy and they spin really fast. So here are some examples to watch. Now that you've seen the conservation of angular momentum work in ice skating, I thought it would be pretty fun to find the physics of breakdancing out. And breakdancing, whether you believe it or not, really relies on the conservation of angular momentum. Today I have a guest. His name is Christian. And Christian, how long have you been breakdancing for?
I've been breakdancing for 15 years now. I started in March 1995.
That's great. So through all this time, where have you been? Have you traveled anywhere?
Yeah, I've been blessed to be able to go to overseas, to Asia a couple times. I've been to my home country, Philippines. Went in 2005, 2006. I went twice in 2009. I've been to Europe once for, it's called an international breakdance event where we have all the best of every country, the top people from Korea, Japan, Europe, Russia, South America, North America, and that happens once a year, and that's held in the Netherlands, Amsterdam, Netherlands, which is also called Holland. Various cities in the United States. Going to New York this October. I've been to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Houston, Texas, Austin, Texas, Los Angeles, California, plenty of times, and the surrounding areas, Vancouver, Canada, Portland, and definitely the hometown in Seattle. And pretty much still on a mission to do more in the future.
Great. Wow, that is a lot of places. Alright, so great. So as you know, today I'm doing a project on the conservation of angular momentum. And in all of your competitions, I see that you utilize this, the conservation of angular momentum. Every time you spin and you complete a rotation with your body, you pull your limbs in just like an ice skater. And whenever you do that, you get that quick spin, that quick burst. So let's go ahead and take a few looks at your footage around the world.
Okay.
Hip hop, you don't stop.
Non-stop hip hop.
Hip hop, you don't stop. Yes, sir.
Non-stop hip hop.
The conservation of angular momentum has been used through a lot of athletes, ice skaters, especially breakdancers, what we call b-boys. Since 1995, people use them in various ways through different moves, have called them different names, which also comes out just the way it looks. We all know what it looks like when we go somewhere. It's been named different things. I actually came out with one of the moves in 2002. If you see one of my clips using my one hand, and I'll throw that way. Recently in 2006 and 2007, you'll see a move where I'm actually going from a slide up to the worm, and I bounce down, and I'll use a swipe motion and jump. Sometimes you'll see me catch with my hand. When I'm really feeling it, you'll see the conservation of angular momentum when I'm actually really spinning in the air. It almost looks like a 360 if you see the slow motion. And I'm throwing, I'm jumping, and I'm trying to land like this. That is the point of safetiness. And lots of b-boys, breakdancers have been using this. You'll see it in snowboarding. You'll see it in basketball. People doing 360 dunks. You'll see people doing it when they want to jump for a touchdown and spin in the end zone. Gymnastics uses it. A lot of different people in sports use it. As of the conservation of angular momentum again, people have used it in different ways in probably the mid-90s into the early 2000s. Definitely it's something that's a spectacular move that a lot of highly rated b-boys, breakdancers use all across the globe that continue a flow of momentum that really can change the flow of the battle, of the game, of who's winning, who's losing. And it's probably the most popular thing to use is the conservation of angular momentum through, it can be head spins, it can be through 1990s using the palm of your hand upside down, it can be used in flips, jumping in the air. When you see that fire, when you see that spin, and the 360 spin, the 720s, when you've seen Tony Hawk people create those spin moves, is you're trying to see how many intervals you can spin with safety and landing on time. And that's something that all people use. The conservation of angular momentum is used across the globe widely through any spectacular sport, hobby, whether using objects, your body. It's the conservation of angular momentum. Once again, you see it on sports, Olympics, flips, jumps, snowboarders will use it. It's the catching of the hype, of the action that happens, and it's kind of hard to explain how it happens, but that is the explanation of conservation of angular momentum. A little bit more talk about the conservation of angular momentum. It's really good for people to understand that it's probably been created through martial arts and different things, Brazilian capoeira. A lot of people have contributed to what we have to use today as a conservation of angular momentum. Names that are popular, it's called, are barrels, because you use this momentum spinning this way, spinning that way, upside down, bouncing on the ground. Also, it's a move within breakdancing called air flare. Air flare is a very foundational move which you can throw from one hand to the other, but in this motion we're doing the conservation of angular momentum, which you are throwing and spinning like this. So it's used from bouncing on the ground, different bouncing moves, different flip moves, different terminologies that different b-boys have created over the years, where they're from in Korea, Europe, that it's been called. So just to have a few more clips, if you'd like to understand that. There'll be a couple more breakdancing clips, b-boy clips from all around the globe, the way different people use the conservation of angular momentum. Through flips, through jumps, through different rotations, different momentums it comes from. So definitely it is the conservation of angular momentum that everyone uses globally, widely, that make it happen for us to be entertaining for people.
Well, thanks, Christian. Thanks for your explanation on the use of conservation of angular momentum in your breakdancing. It's very interesting, and I hope that the class was able to see how the conservation of angular momentum works through your examples. However, now it's time for the class to see some of my examples. I also like to do breakdancing, and I like to do this move called 1990. Earlier, Christian was talking about it. It's It's pretty cool. So I like to do the move called 1990. It's a move when I'm upside down, doing a handstand, and whenever I close my legs and I pull my arms in, you're gonna see me do this spin. And it's automatic using the conservation of angular momentum. Alright, now everyone in class should be able to recognize that the conservation of angular momentum is used in a lot of dynamic spins. Thank you very much for watching.